Hello, Internet. Good day. I was really on track to start on time today. By on time, I mean noon, because that's when I try and start. Well, I guess to be honest, that's when I start to try to start. I get distracted. I let myself get distracted by a bunch of other things. I was like, oh yeah, 6 minutes. That's totally enough time to do everything that I want to do uh, right now before I start streaming. And I was close. I was only off by like 27 minutes or so. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna run the simulation because I don't know. I just feel like that's a fun way to start the stream. Although I occasionally get distracted by it. Oh wow, look at that simulation go. Yeah, I have all the dials cranked way up because I was testing out like various stuff yesterday. So the mobs are numerous and rabid. Uh, just yeah. So today, as we can see, like the mobs are running around. They're collecting coins and they're bringing it to the hero. But I think today we're going to add exploding coins or cookies. They're carrying cookies. I'll call them coins and cookies interchangeably. Uh, but yeah, today we're adding in exploding coins probably. Uh, that's like top of my to-do list because as I've been talking about all week, this game is not quite yet a game. It's really more just like a toy or like a simulation that amuses me at least. Dash. What? I multiplied dash. Why did it not? I could have sworn I multiplied dash. Was that a bug or? Yeah, dash should be. Why is? Well, that's a great way to start the day. I mean, it's also why I run the simulation a lot, is because you find bugs like that. Alright, so I'm only single dashing. What if I multiply it again? So now it's hypothetically I should be dashing 3 times now, but let's see how many times I actually dash. I probably just broke. Wait, so 3 worked, because that was an extended dash. The second one was an extended dash, but yeah, I guess again that was an extended dash. Why? I probably broke how dash targets because for one thing, in the when it was yeah, it should not be extended dashing that much. It should only extended dash if oh, I changed how range works on yeah, I'm guessing that I think that's what did it. Yeah, I was gonna say. Well, no, he still shouldn't extended dash, even if. Huh. All right. Well, I want to get to exploding cookies, but I think I'm gonna look into dash first because I don't know what's going on here. I'm gonna crank it back down to 2 and see if he just only ever does it once. All right, let's drop the speed down so I can do this more than once every 10 seconds. Oh, that's on my to-do list. Fixing up the cooldown, how it interacts with speed. I don't think it'll ever be that obvious. Yeah, what the heck is going on here? Alright, so at least we're not going to waste a bunch of time in the simulation. And by waste, I mean spend, because it is an excellent use of time. And actually, before I do that, I'm going to say hello to social media real quick, I guess. Probably. I'm going to do that real quick. It'll be really quick, though. Super quick, I swear. So, I guess I could have waited, considering considering I don't really need to blast this. Alright, yeah, it works. Okay, so now I'm going to close that and not get distracted by it. Yeah, so, right, so, yeah, this is great. Everyone's going to jump in and get to see some super great debugging that might even get a bit frustrating, but whatever. We're going to figure out what is wrong with multi-dash and what is wrong with targeting in multi-dash, or just in general. So first whenever we dash, let's say how many charges are remaining. So I guess this would probably be a fine point to unify how dash is processed. But no, I guess it is pretty different between but the first dash doesn't have as many weird rules as multiple dashes do, which will also make this super fun to debug it with. So yeah, so if dest active, else scan, wait, oh, okay, if dash charge is greater than 0, wait, oh, okay, so yeah, here's where we reached our target. We were dashing, but now we just reached our target. So let's print dash charge, how many charges of dash we have left. Because if this prints 0 first, if we have multi-dash, if we have 2 dashes, like if we have multi-dash, if we've added 1 multiplier to dash, this should print 1 first and then it should print 0. But I don't know, what we were seeing a second ago, I'm thinking maybe it'll only ever print 0. And actually, before I add a multiplier to dash, I'm going to see what happens. Yeah. So with no multiplicity on dash, with just the default dash, it prints 0, which is expected. Basically, it's charging once, it's realizing that it has no more charges of dash left, and it's just concluding. So if I multiply it by 1, it works now. Alright, now it just works, because there's apparently nothing ever wrong with it in the first place, and what we were seeing before was madness. I don't know. I don't have an explanation for what we were seeing before, but what we were seeing now is the correct behavior. So good. That was a quick bug fix. I'm glad we got that out of the way. Here, now I'm gonna get rid of that print we just put in, and it's gonna break again, right? That's how it works, right? No, I don't know what that was about, but apparently it doesn't happen 100% of the time, so I'm not going to stress out over it now. I like the dash. I like how dash works. I like just pressing the dash. Oh. I don't think I ever single dashed last time. I think I multiplied dash before ever dashing. I don't know how that would have a negative effect, but maybe it does somehow? I don't know. We can find out. Alright, no, it still seems to be working okay. Alright, let's see if multiplying dash before ever using it has a negative effect. Alright, so we have multiplier, we have dash. Let's multiply dash and then use it. Nope, still works fine. Alright. Every now and again, Unity is like super cool about stuff. I mean, okay, let me rephrase. Unity is like almost always super cool about stuff. It's why I enjoy using it. It's why I use it. Sometimes Unity is pointedly less cool, but those times are relatively few and far between. I'm somewhat inclined to think that might have been one of those times, but I'm not going to get hung up on it. So, right, exploding cookies, way more interesting. Right, so the gist is that, like, yeah, so the mobs are bringing you cookies, but then sometimes instead of I was going to do knockback, but knockback is just aesthetic. It doesn't affect the game rules, so I'm not going to do that yet. I do want to do it at some point. I want when you set off an explosion, I want the cookies to go flying, and then because like actually what's happening is that the cookies are like flying towards the hero. It's kind of hard to tell when everything's so cluttered, but I want it to be that I want it to be that the cookies go flying up into the air and then zoom towards the hero, just so you can see what's happening better. Because like in this case, you just really can't see what's happening, like basically at all. So I digress. Let's add in some exploding cookies. So I guess we'll want a new prefab for exploding cookies. So it'll probably just be the same, basically. except it will also have like a red sphere in the center or something. I don't know, something like that. Because I want them to be similar but visually distinct, like comparable, but like, well, so the gist is that the mobs aren't actually aware necessarily of which are cookies and which are explosives. So I just want it to be like a simple enough shape that, like, for example, a bird, for example, might confuse the two. So we have our cookie prefab. Let's drop one of these in here. So we have the rotation. I guess we don't really actually need to apply the rotation to the sphere in the center. So, although actually we might see weird, like, crinkly whatevers if we don't. So yeah, the sphere will rotate as well, because why not? And it is a sphere. Let's reset it to like position 0, 0, 0. Alright, so let's make it smaller. So how big is other stuff? You're like 0.75. So let's make you like 0.3. No, probably bigger than that. I mean, that's close, but maybe slightly bigger, so maybe like 0.4. 0.4, 0.4. That could be good, except, that could be good. I might want it to be slightly smaller, like 0.35. I'm going to try 0.35. 0.35, 0.35, 0.35. Alright, I don't know if that's necessarily the right size, but I'm going to go with it for now. So now let's make the... So this is a different prefab, so let's be clear that this is a different prefab. This is the XPL explosive cookie, CK explosive cookie. Right, let's change the material of the coin. I guess we need 2 new materials. Or we just need 2 new colors and then make them materials for now. So EXPL cookie map and create material EXPL cookie light map. I guess it won't really be a light per se, but it will be like the bright spot, I guess. And let's make it similar, like in the same school as this red, except brighter for sure and less saturated. Maybe, I don't know. We want it to be really visible, so maybe there actually will be even a light source associated with these, to make them really noticeable. But let's try this first. And so, yeah, maybe I shouldn't use red because that'll actually make it blend in with the background, if anything. Just gonna see how it looks in the game world right now. That actually might be pretty close, because like I was thinking gray, but like this mostly white material might actually be good, just to get that noticeable, to get these to really stand out. The light's kind of picking up the red on the inner part. This might be fine, so I'm gonna, not that. Cancel. No, I'm not. Okay. So I'm gonna rename this explosive cookie, and yeah, this is our prefab. Yeah. Oh, I can reset the rotation, I guess. Not that it really matters, but alright, so yeah. Now let's know about our prefab in our scripts, because we have the concept of our cookie prefab. So now let's have a public game object, expl cookie prefab. Save that. Set that, the stuff that I tend to forget, and then tend to get confused as to why weird errors start popping up. So you probably have the same script. Yeah, you still have the cookie script, which is good, I guess. Although we'll because like a lot of your behaviors will be shared. A lot of the cookie and explosive cookie behaviors will be shared, but then we'll probably need some new things just for the explosive cookie. And I guess we'll have to figure those out as we go, or when we get to that step. So, yeah. Sup. Let's, we now have, alright, yeah, so when we're spawning mobs, right now we're just assigning cookies to them. Now let's just like add in a probability to get an explosive cookie. Specifically, let's add in a value to represent that probability. So public float expl cookie ratio equals 0.1 f. I think it'll actually be, well, I don't know what it'll be, so 0.1 for now. So now when we spawn a mob, which happens near here, yeah, so previously we'd just been doing this to put a cookie in the mob's hands. Instead, now let's say if random dot value, and this probably won't ultimately be random. It'll be instead of like instead of the odds of like having 1 in 10, it would probably be like every 10th cookie or something like that. Maybe some variability, but like a fair amount of like fixed predictability in explosive cookie spawning. Random value, if random value is less than expl cookie ratio, then let's do an explosive cookie instead. Which actually, I guess, else, I guess we can also put, yeah, we can put the, we don't need, to track those separately, really. We can just do basically the same thing, except use the, use the explosive cookie prefab instead. expl cookie prefab. Save that. Alright, so now nothing in the game will happen differently, except we should see that now approximately 1/10 of the cookies are explosive cookies. Explosive cookies. So, yeah, how noticeable are those? I'm pretty sure while running this, zoom out because that's obnoxious. So that's pretty noticeable, the explosive cookies, I guess. I'd want them slightly more noticeable than that. So, like, what in the color range are we not really using? We have yellow as the hero color, and we have green. Currently we have green as the mob's color, but I'm thinking of using like green through purple range to represent mobs. They'll start out greenish, but then they'll turn purplish over time. So like, where would we go on the color wheel to stay different, or just be like particularly different in and you know, specifically, especially noticeable? Did we stop spawning explosive cookies for some reason? Oh, right, yeah, because that was only in spawning. We also have to add explosive cookies to collection, cookie collection. So I'll actually probably want to unify that so that I don't have to, so that as I modify it, I don't have to oops, oh yeah. So that I don't have to keep changing it in multiple places. So whoops. Right. So here's the one place. I mean, it's pretty simple so far, but yeah. Let's just make it its own thing. So this is in fixed update. So let's put this, I guess, just above fixed update. So sorry, I was just thinking, if you give a mob a cookie. Sorry. So give cookie, I guess. And then let's pass in the mob index, I guess. Alright, so, oops, that's not a statement. So yeah, so we will, I guess we don't actually have to return it. We can just set it manually. So let's just replace these with mi. Oops. Mi. I'm just going to make a quick change. Okay, so I'm going to continue doing that, but first I'm going to make a quick change to how cookies work. I'm just going to say on start. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so let's also say what's the scale on rotate? Transform.rotate. Is that radians? Indie script C# transform.rotate. Applies rotation of Euler angles.z degrees around the z-axis. Degrees around the x-axis, and sure. Rotate. Space relative to how am I using it? Yeah, I'm just using it with one argument. Alright, so yeah, all I really want to do here is just start it with some rotation, because I don't know, if you spawn too many cookies at the same time, they all like rotate in sequence and it's eerie. Or they all rotate together. So wait, no, vector up times random dot value, I guess. Times, I don't know, 10, I don't know, whatever. I probably don't care about that. Like, as long as it at least encompasses one significant swath of like potential rotation. they'll be slightly less in sync. All right, but wait, no, we're not running the simulation yet. We're well, I guess we could just to see. No, I don't know. I don't supremely care. Was that just a highly ineffectual amount of rotation? I'll just do times route speed. Route speed's a big enough number. But I'll also stop caring about that. Okay, so right, so we give cookies here. Okay, this is how we're now giving cookies. So back where we were spawning mobs, we can just say give cookie. Give cookie. And actually, I guess we could just put oh wait, what? Oh yeah, right. Okay. We could put mobs follow and give cookie, because mobs with cookies should follow. So alright, let's do that too. Alright, so and then so the other place we're giving cookies is where? Oh, it's down in mob processing. Here we are. So yeah, now we can just say give cookie I, right? Because it was I that we were giving it to, right? Yeah. Alright, so now we should see what didn't you like about I? Oh, whoops. Why did I put brackets around it? Probably because I is an index, typically. Alright, save that. Alright, so yeah, now approximately 1/10 of the cookies should be explosive cookies, and that should continue to be the case as mobs go to the sidelines and get more cookies. Alright, so we have the visual distinction, but there's no other meaning to that distinction. So what? So let's make them bigger, I think. Let's make explosive cookies just literally larger. I think we can only do so much in terms of distinction with color, but if we just make them literally just stand higher in the crowd and take up more space in the crowd, then maybe that'll serve the difference that we're looking for here. So I'm just gonna say like 1.5. 1.5, just for the scale of that hierarchical object, which usually just serves to rotate. But now that we have multiple objects parented to it, we can use it to scale those uniformly. So if I'm making it bigger, I should also make it so the mobs hold them higher. But for now, I'm just going to see if that's probably an improvement. Let's also, since we're not testing powers right now, let's decrease the mob spawn rate back to something quasi-reasonable. Like at least 1, I guess. I guess I could have done more than 1. Yay, look at that. Chasing down mobs. Knocking their cookies out of their hand. Watch out. Oh no, watch out. That mob has an explosive cookie. Oh no, explosive cookies. Alright, that seems about right. So yeah, now let's make them hold them higher too. So I think I'm just gonna use I'm just gonna use like I'm gonna put the cookie prefabs on top of each other. So this is gonna be public game object array cookie prefab equals new game object. Wait, no. I'll just do that instead. Alright, and then we get rid of this. So it's just cookie prefab 0, which is non-explosive, and cookie prefab 2, which is explosive. There's 1, 0 and 1. Right, okay, so yeah. Did you? Oh, you don't like that? Oh, right, because yeah. Okay, so refactor. If no, let's just expl cookie. Proof. Where are we? Okay, so yeah, we're only releasing it there. So let's change these to be cookie or cookie. I can spell cookie prefab. Oh, I probably shouldn't have used the term cookie, but whatever. Wait, no, this one's 1. This one's 1, and this one is 0. I guess this is not really a necessary change, but whatever. Not a super important change anyways. Alright, so now let's put our cookie prefab size 2. Set our cookie prefab, so 0 is just regular cookie, 1 is explosive cookie. Alright, and the reason I want to do that is just because I'm going to add in a few other values. I'm going to add in flow, or public flow, no, not flow, yeah, no, I guess that really wasn't an important change because I am going to use a float, and I'm just going to say expl cookie scale. Actually, I guess that doesn't even have to be public. I'm just going to say expl cookie scale. Ugh, am I going to undo the thing about making those prefabs on top of each other? Maybe. Who knows? Whatever. Expl cookie scale equal. So on start, expl cookie scale is going to be prefab. No, cookie expl. So I guess now it's called cookie prefab 1 dot get child. What? Oh, transform dot get child. Cookie prefab dot transform dot get child 0. There's only one child. Dot not the animation. Dot scale local scale dot x, I guess, because I'm scaling that uniformly, and we're just gonna use that same scale to change like the position of the cookie that we spawn it, like where we spawn the cookie when we spawn a cookie, because right now we're setting it to cookie offset, the position plus cookie offset, but then in the case of in this case we're going to multiply that by the explosive cookie scale, so that mobs hold it higher above them. Let's see if that is what we wanted. So yeah, I think they're holding them. I think it's working. One thing that I'd mentioned before, and I guess now's about the time to actually do it, is that the cookie offset. I want mobs to hold it like higher above their head, kind of. So instead of 0.4, let's say 0.3 for the x and z and 0.6, I guess, for the y. So I think that should start working. I think new mobs should be holding them higher now. But actually, no, I'll just do it outside. So what did I say? 363 or 36 negative 3. 0.3, 0.6, negative 3 to be specific. Let's save that, run it. And where are the cookies? Yeah, look, now they're held quite high. Let's also, yeah, I guess one of the advantages of having the spawn period super low is that we got to see how well explosive cookies stood out in the crowd. I think white is definitely correct because that is visually distinct. I don't know. I'll have to see how it plays, I guess. See if that, because I think I have like average eyesight. I think my vision is like 20/20 or like 20/21. It's like really close to average. So I don't want it. I don't necessarily want you to need. The point of the game is not like to be eagle-eyed and like scope out these like secret explosive cookies. The point is to be aware of them and to respond accordingly. So I'll have to see if that's the experience people have with it, or if it could use additional visual emphasis. I kind of don't even want to go 1.5 with the scale of the prefab. I kind of want to go less because of I don't know, clipping irks me a little bit. I understand, like, I'm not like OCD about it. I'm not like unreasonably sensitive to, sorry. To the extent that I can minimize it, I would prefer to minimize it. So I think I'm going to try it closer to like 1.25 actually as the scale. 1.25. I guess it'd be easier to actually like just have a public variable for the cookie scale and set the scale of the prefab based on that value. Like kind of the opposite of what I'm doing now. If I find myself having to tune it too often, then I don't want to try that. So spawn rate to the skies. I probably shouldn't worry about this too much. Because I think I'll really need other people's feedback in order to figure out exactly how good it is. And actually, the other thing I'm planning on doing is, so like these are explosive cookies, and they're not just going to detonate arbitrarily. I wonder if there's a way to. Can you crank the value of a material? Like crank the color value of a material to an invalid value, or like if I mean right now this is a red value of 255, but could I set it to like have a red value of like more than that? I wonder. Let's find out. So on start. I guess I'd have to know about the material. No, I can just do it to the prefab. Except I'd have to dig in, and there are multiple children, so I don't know exactly where yeah, I'll just address the material. So I'm probably gonna undo that. Ugh, I'm weird. Anyways, game object is cookie prefab. Yeah, whatever. And then public material, I guess. EXPL CKIE light mat, I think I called it. Alright, so now let's set our values again. Oh, right, yeah. I have to actually change that. So let's go to cookie prefab. And yeah, change this back to what we want it to be. EXPL CKIE. Alright, and then the other one. EXPL CKIE. Is that all of them? Yeah. Alright, and right, so now let's save that. Set them again. Because I'm so changeable. What? Oh, you still have an issue. What? Oh, right, yeah. So I forgot to do that. Alright, save that. What do you think? Yeah, good job. Good job, compiler. Making it through everything I wrote. Good job not having found any errors. Alright, so this is the explosive cookie texture, or material. So let's save that, and, wrong button. Save that. And, okay, so now on start, let's crank that red value. So, what is it? EXPL cookie light matte dot color. Yeah. Times equals 2, maybe? Let's see what that does. Basically I want to blow it out. Is it just going to turn white? I guess that would make sense. Oh, it would especially make sense because I'm multiplying all of the values. What if I just multiplied the red value? Come on, please work, please work, please work, please work. Okay, equals new color. I'm going to use all the same values, but actually no, I guess I can just say plus equals, and then use the red value, and then not use the, oops, no, 0 for green and blue values. Oops, 0. It's weird saying one thing and typing another thing at the same time. It's typo prone, I guess is what I mean to say. Oh, yeah. That just straight up sets it. It doesn't unset it. So hold on. Let's get it back to where we wanted it in the first place, which was somewhere around here, thereabouts. Alright, and then I guess we only have to do this once. So activate. Yeah, that's some glowing red if I've ever seen it. Alright, so we did that once, and now we don't have to do This feels sketchy. I don't Excuse me. Because now I don't think I need to reference that material anymore. I mean, I guess I might have to reference that material if I want to tweak that value. But now we have our magical, impossible value, and maybe that'll just work. Yeah, because I feel like it's a lot more visually noticeable now. Let's see. Because like it's impossibly bright compared to the other objects in the scene. I mean, really, what I wanted to do is I wanted to improve the lighting just on that object, like make it really pop under these lights. But I don't know how to do that, so now it's still getting affected by the lights like normal, but it's as if it was a color brighter than can exist. Excuse me. In the otherwise defined color scale. So, yeah, I feel like that helped. Sorry. I don't, yeah, I wanted to, because I'm already using red for the background, but red is a good color to indicate danger, so I wanted to use red, and I wanted it to be visually distinguishable. Alright, I feel like we're doing okay in that regard now. I mean, I guess I could make the rest of the explosive cookie like super white, like whiter than white. And then it would really pop out. But I'm gonna pretend, or I'm gonna convince myself that this is fine for now. So yeah. So let's make him do something. We're calling him explosive. I'm calling him explosive cookies. Let's make them explosive. So what? Yeah. Right now. All right. We'll want to. Right. So the rules for how the explosiveness gets activated, I think, will pertain to, or like so like essentially all of the explosive cookies will have a countdown, and when they reach 0, they will explode. When so the countdown will only count down when the mob is within range of the hero. You'll kind of see that like if I make the hero stand still, mobs only ever get so close to the hero. They only ever really try and get that close, because to them that's what range is. Like that's their target range. And I guess I could actually broaden that a little bit. I always assumed it was like the size of like that big circle when all the mobs are clumped around him, but I guess, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I won't use literally the same range that, yeah, I won't use literally the same range that they used to approach. I'll say it'll probably be like about twice that. It'll probably be like, as long as the mobs are, essentially I want it to be that like, as long as the mobs are noticeably like center screen with the hero, then like, you know, they're at their destination, and that is the range that one within their cookies will tick downwards. So what do I want to do here? I guess we'll want to, yeah, we'll probably want to differentiate the cookie scripts now for regular cookies and explosive cookies. Because I want like a visual pulse effect when the cookies are about to explode. So, because essentially, like the point of the game kind of will be that you can. Whoa, where are you going, buddy? I think he freaked out because I had him in. Why? I have no clue why he's kind of just ignoring all these dudes in the center. I mean, I assume it had something to do with the fact that I kept him in Seek Mode 3 for so long, but I don't know why that would have this effect. Alright, get away from the pack. And then stop ignoring the pack. Yeah, what the heck are you doing? There's so many valid targets, like... What on earth are you doing? Alright, well that's startling. Are you just broken for good, or was it just those mobs that you, for some reason, are no longer targeting? Oh. Oh. Yeah, no, something just occurred to me. Yesterday I changed targeting so that, Yeah, I know what that was. Yesterday I changed targeting so that when you have allies, like when you have a bunch of little duders following you around, you don't all attack the same target. They kind of like spread out and they they don't go for overkill. They kind of like try and act smart about it. However, the way I set up the logic, um, I'm the mobs are declining to, or the hero and allies are declining to select targets uh, if someone else has already targeted them. However, I forgot to mention that it's okay to target something that you've already targeted. So if the hero has already targeted something, it's okay to target it again. You just don't want to target it if another ally or whatever is targeting it. And actually, I should probably also touch up how we do target clearing, because I'm also clearly not I'm clearly not clearing that in literally every case. Where was this? It was, oh yeah, it was down near targeting. Wow. Yeah. Wait, was this it? No. Oh no, yeah. Oh no, wow, I'm not even there yet. Okay. Yeah, here it is. And I can get rid of these other things. I'm pretty sure I don't want to go back to these other systems. This is like another possible way of doing it that huh. Yeah. Yeah. I can get rid of that. And that. Actually no, that's the supreme fallback, so I'm gonna actually leave that one in there for now. Alright, so yeah, what I meant to say is if mobs target srmit equals -1, or it's also okay if mobs target srmit equals I. If it's -1 or if it's I, that's totally legit. Good to go. In fact, if it's I, you don't even have to do this, but whatever. Uh, and then that should fix that. Oh, that should fix half of it. Then clearing. I guess we can just say down in the mob processing block, we can just say it's kind of like the opposite. We can just say where's the mobs processing? Used to be, I thought it was like right here. No, slightly higher. Where is mobs processing? Oh, here it is. Yeah, okay. Right? No? Yes, no? I changed how this was organized yesterday. Mobs type, no. Oh yeah, so it's going to be oh right, it's not going to be as obvious anymore because it's going to be an else. Yeah, here it is. Right, okay, yeah, it is this. Okay. Oh. Alright, so I think right, this is mobs processing, so I'm actually just gonna wait. I'm gonna encompass all of this in an else block, and I think that makes sense so far. Yeah, I think. Alright, because yeah, so that conditional still, etc., etc. So this is in the case that mob type does equal 2. So when mob type equals 2, let's say if mobs target I not equal -1 and mobs target I, the target of, if so if this mob's target is not itself, because I made targeting a reciprocal sort of thing, so if this does not equal I, that means somehow our target got, or so that means that that this green mob had been targeted, but is no longer targeted by that ally or hero. So at that point, we set mob's target to equal -1, which is to reset the target essentially. Yeah, and then the rest of mob's processing happens as usual. Because mobs used to target things because they used to be able to target either the hero or any of the allies, but now they always flock to the hero, because pretty much everything flocks to the hero at this point. And he's the hero, or he or she is the hero. He or she is pretty cool stuff. And so now, yeah, where they used to target things, now they just keep track of who's targeting them, basically, which makes it easier for the allies and the hero to pick their targets. Don't tell the mobs that. No, actually do. So, yeah, hopefully targeting not only still works, but also works in seek mode 3. So, all right, seek mode 3. I'm telling right now I'm telling the hero to stand still, and the mobs are only inclined to approach to a distance. Oh yeah, they only naturally approach to a distance that's further than the hero's natural range. The only time they go into range is if other mobs kind of clamor to get into the outer range and shove them into the hero's range. So, all right, before the hero was sitting there helplessly trying to target things and going through and marking them all as having been targeted. And then after that frustrating experience, when I finally let go, all those mobs were marked as targeted, and so he then ignored all of them. But now we seem to have fixed that several times over. Yeah, so not only did we fix that one case, but we also just kind of shored up the targeting system, so that way we'll be less likely to encounter cases like that in the future. And because that actually has a lot to do with how allies operate, let's make sure that allies still operate. And let's really test it by cranking up the spawn rate. Mobs everywhere. Yay! There's the expected result here is not incredibly sophisticated. It's basically just that everyone stays busy all the time, basically. Because right now I'm not exerting any influence on the game board. It's basically just a simulation at this point, and so I just want to make sure that it's basically just good AI, I guess. Making sure that the hero and their allies are acting in a heroic alliance. Yeah, so this glowing orb here is mesmerizing. Sorry. I just really like the gradient, how it goes from a slightly realistic, pinkish color to I don't know, it just reminds me of those bouncy balls that you get out of vending machines. Sorry. So what are we doing? Right, we were going to make the cookies actually explode before we notice that weirdness in the simulation. So, right, so we probably could use the inner radius, and I might, the inner, what am I calling it, inside radius or something, is, inside radius is what the mobs flock towards, but I guess I'm gonna say I'll just put it in another public float for now. Public float for detonation radius or something equals. I was saying it should be almost twice as much, or about twice as much, but I'm going to try it at 5F for now. because 5f is a cool number. Oop. What did I do? Oh, oops. Alright, save that. So that's not actually doing anything yet. I don't know why I went back to Unity. Yeah, there's more work to be done in mono develop. So, yeah, I guess I need a new. So there's already a point in our current simulation where where mobs check their distance from the hero. It's important because like they always flock towards the hero up to that specific range, and then they always and then once they're decookied, once they've lost their cookie, they flock outwards to a certain radius, and then they get a new cookie and they flock back inwards, etc., etc. So yeah, we're already calculating the d offset. Yep. And so we can just check the d offset to make this determination. So I think to make the cookie explode, we're going to need to tell the cookie to explode. Well, we're kind of already doing that with the cookies have this public drop thing, which starts their end, essentially, because while they're animating, they fly towards the hero, and then once they reach the hero, they explode, or they just disappear. So for one thing, it's going to be, for the explosive cookies, it's going to be different, because they're actually not going to fly towards the hero. They're just going to, like, fly up into the air and then kind of, like, burst into, like, little triangles, basically. Triangles because rendering. No, I don't know. Maybe just little like fragments, just to indicate that they were successfully neutralized. So it's not going to be like a violent explosion. It's just going to be like, you know, the that generic effect when something mystical or powerful has been neutralized. So yeah. So we're actually going to keep track of their. Yeah, I think we're going to keep track of their timers over here, and then I also want a mechanism by which the explosive cookies can pulse. So like when their countdowns reach like a certain when their countdowns get closer and closer to 0, they'll pulse more and more frequently. So like let's say if the timer is like 10 seconds, then it'll probably start higher and then get lower as the game goes on. But let's say it starts at 10 seconds, then like maybe it'll pulse at like 8, and then at like 6, and then at like 4, but then maybe again at like 3, 2, 1, and then I don't know. So I don't know. I'll have to figure out like what are the right intervals for pulsing. Once I get the pulse effect actually working, but that's next. We can still make the cookies explode. Yeah, we can still make the cookies explode. I would like to get both the pulse effect and well, yeah. There's a fair amount to do today, I guess. And hopefully we can get as much of this done as possible. So yeah, no, I was at the right place. Let's say right. So wait, no, now I'm not at the right place. Where did I go? Yeah, here we are. All right, so we only really have to worry about this if the mobs are not knocked back, because if the mobs are knocked back, they're cookieless, because knockback is what decookies a mob. And so I guess we only really also have to process this if mobs follow as well, because if the mob's not following, it doesn't have a cookie. So yeah, so there's that, and then also actually I guess no, yeah, wait, yeah, no, there's no way to really like leverage one of these checks for the other one because they're overlapping ranges. Oh, caps lock, where'd you come from? So if d offset dot magnitude, so if the distance from the mob to the hero is less than the what do we call it, detonation radius, then let's decrement, totally a word, I looked it up yesterday, oh, we don't have it yet, so it'll be cookie timer I, because it's the cookie timer of this mob. It's the timer of the cookie of this mob, which is I in this case. Cookie timer I minus equals time dot fixed delta time. But cookie timer is not a real thing yet. Cookie det timer, maybe? Just to be clear what we're talking about. So cookie det timer needs to be a thing. And we also need to start setting it when we make explosive cookies. And actually, yeah, I guess... I mean, I guess we also only need to do this if we're dealing with an explosive cookie, because so should we start keeping track of cookie type, or how should we do that? Oh yeah, no, I remember. I was talking about this yesterday. Currently we have a Boolean value for whether mobs are carrying a cookie or not. And it's actually mobs follow. So I was thinking of changing that to an integer. So 0 would mean not following, 1 would mean following with a regular cookie, and then 2 would mean following with an explosive cookie. So I think I might do that. So to get ahead of myself, I will say, so if mobs follow equals 2, and then check the distance, and yeah, and then we do the cookie timer thing. So this will also be if mobs follow is greater than 0. Instead of just if mobs follow. But I'll have to touch up mobs follow in a few other places as well, so yeah. Let's make those changes. So cookie det timer and mobs follow to an integer. Where is mobs follow? No, the initial instance, please. Mobs follow, so right, so you're now an int, congratulations. And then float cookie det timer. I mean, we certainly don't need quite so. There won't be so many cookie detonation timers at any one time, so it's not supremely necessary to have super many. Although now that I think about it, I was actually considering having it so that I mean, yeah, now that I think about it, so I think it's fairly important for the game to have it so that these explosive cookies detonate after a certain amount of time. But I was also thinking of it just having the other cookies expire after a certain amount of time. So if you don't collect them, they'll go away. I'm not 100% about that. But the possibility of doing that makes me feel less wasteful about setting up floats for all of the mobs. Yeah, so right, now we need to continue to touch up mobs follow, because we no longer want to set it's like true or whatnot. We want to, yeah, so in this case we want to say if it's an explosive cookie, then it equals 2, and if it's not an explosive cookie, if it's a non-explosive cookie, it equals 1. Right, so yeah, we use this in a few places, so we'll have to touch it up in a few places. So mobs follow, what are we saying here? So not mobs follow, mob target, probably, so to say not mobs follow probably means to say mobs follow equals 0, because not mobs follow is now an equivalent statement to mobs follow equals 0. And then for most of the previous usages of mobs follow, we probably want to say now that it's greater than 0. And again, we don't say true and false anymore. We say, wait, what? Oh, this is different. This is for allies, so we can just say 1 and 0. It's not for green mobs. It's for, so then we can say if greater than 0, and I mean for allies we could even say equals 1, because allies only have like one mode of following. So it could be any non-zero integer, positive integer. All right, how many more? A few more. So if mobs, so not mobs follow, so equals 0. It's the equivalent statement. Greater than 0 equals 2. So greater than 0 is now the statement that we're looking for here. We set it to equal to 0. This is when mobs get knocked into the air. They drop their cookies and stop following. Greater than 0. Wow, this value gets used. All right, but I think we're done now. All right, so because we just changed that, let's make sure we didn't ruin everything. Oh God, we ruined everything. Oh, we missed them. All right, greater than 0. Save that. How many did we miss? Just one more. Just one more. What? Oh, yeah. Mobs follow I. Right? I, right? Yeah. Okay, this is what we're setting up now. Alright. Alright, so now we're not doing anything with cookie.timer, but we're decreasing it. For the mobs with explosive cookies. So let's see if not everything got ruined. Not everything? Only some things? It's kind of funny that the it looks like time dilates when the hero approaches a mob, just because the mob stops. Because at first they're both moving towards each other, but then eventually the mob stops. Yeah. I don't know, it amuses me. But yeah, things seem not thoroughly broken. It would also break allies, so let's see if that happened. Alright, so now we have allies. Yeah, and so follow for allies is if the hero gets too far away, then the allies should start following, which they seem to be doing. And then when they get back in range. I can make it so, yeah, the allies don't need to turn to face their target if they're in the process of following. They still choose targets. That was something that we did earlier this week. But they I forgot to change it so that they don't just like, they get a little twitchy when they're doing that now because, alright, let's see. Mob type not equal to, excuse me. So, so mob type equal, oh yeah, mob type equals 1. But this isn't where it happens. It's is it? No, it's in target selection, right? Where's look at? Yeah. Mobs transform. Alright, if mobs target is greater than or equals 0, mobs target not equals null. Or no, mobs target not equals null. Right, okay. So if we have a target, we look at the target. But let's also only do that in the case and not mob. Actually, no, we can just say and because yeah, the green mobs are spheres, so it doesn't matter if they look at their target. It never really looks like they rotate. So we can just say if mobs follow is greater than mobs follow I is 0. So only if they're not following the hero do they orient towards their target. Small thing, but whatevs. Okay, and then well, alright, let me just make sure I didn't break anything with that real quick. I'm not super concerned that I did break anything. I just want to make sure that I didn't break anything. If I had broken something, hypothetically, then I'd want to find out now. Because if I wait to find out, like if I wait a long time to find out, then it would get confusing as to what had caused breakage, whether it was. Oh, I guess that's the other weird thing. I should make it so that, yeah, okay. So if they are following, then they should probably look at their look at the hero instead. So let's borrow this statement and say, where's the part? Yeah, mobs type equals 1 if mobs follow. Yeah, and then also look at the hero. No, not your target. Look at mobs 0, or just transform position. Yar. I mean, I don't even have to use a new vector. I can just use transformed opposition because the hero. I was doing a new vector with the y zeroed out because mobs can go flying into the air, and I didn't want the allies like orienting upwards. But the hero always stays on the ground, so I could just do whatever. I don't know what power 3 is. Power 3. Oh gosh, I hope power 3 doesn't have the hero lifting off the ground because I've taken for granted the idea that the hero stays on the ground. I've taken that quite for granted. Alright, so sup. What is what's up now? Alright, fine, I'll check to make sure that's working. Little things. It's the little things that occasionally matter. Alright, so we have those dudes. Alright, yeah, now when they're following, they orient towards the hero. Alright, cool. And then when they stop following, they orient towards their targets. Alright, cool. I mean, like, these things are square-shaped when viewed from above. So, like, you actually can't tell if they're facing directly towards or directly away from their target, or, like, directly at 90-degree angles from their target. But just the fact that they rotate, you can kind of get a sense of that they might have some level of attention that they're putting towards these things. Anyways, that seems fun. Back to explosive cookies. So right. Oh, so now we just have those timers ticking down to nothing. So let's I mean, I guess this is where we'll process cookie explosions now, because like, because now this is where it reaches. This is where it'll reach 0. So if I don't know, I'm continuing on with this before I've even finished the setup, but so if cookie.timer I is less than or equal to 0, yeah. I'm actually going to, okay, so yeah, that's when explode cookie, I'm not actually going to put it in right now, whoops. Yeah, so that's when we'll explode the cookie. Although it occurs to me, if cookie dead timer is less than or equal to cookie pulse time. Cookie dead time. Oops. Cookie dead timer index I is less than cookie pulse time index I. We want to set it up so that so the cookies pulse. So pulse cookie. And then we also so then the next cookie pulse time I maybe yeah, let's say let's say it minus equal, no, let's say I want to say times equals cookie pulse time scale. So yeah, so like let's say the first pulse happens at 8 seconds. Cookie pulse time scale could be like 0.8. So then the next pulse time will be at what, like 6 point something seconds, and the next one will be at like, I don't know, somewhere around like 5-ish seconds, maybe slightly less than 5 seconds or more. And then so that way naturally the pulsing will get faster at a steady rate. But let's also say if cookie pulse time I is less than cookie min pulse time sorry, cookie min pulse less than cookie min pulse time, then cookie pulse time equals 0. Because like we don't want it to literally freak out and like start pulsing literally every frame at the end. Equals 0. Yeah. I was just thinking I should find out, like I don't like I don't know what the costs associated with get component are, so whenever I'm trying to decide what whether to use get component or do something else, I tend to choose do something else because I at least know how expensive do something else is. I'm so curious to find out how, because if like occasionally, like now actually, for example, I'm like, should I just be using get component? Is get component going to be way easier in this? Like, is it going to actually be a lot better? If it's like clunky and like slow, then if it's clunky and slow, I don't want to overuse it, but I could be using it a lot. I could be using it like a lot. I would set up my games very differently if it was like super fast. So that'd be a good thing to know, right? Wait. Let's just ask how fast it is. How fast is get component? No. I don't care about JavaScript. No, I don't care about Java in general. Google, please help. Bing is giving me weird results. Singletons and C# fast? No. Which get component is faster? Oh, here we go. Use gameObject.getComponent, an expensive call. Working on my second blah blah blah. Try this thread. No, please just answer the question. Do not use the version of getComponent that takes a string. When you call getComponent without a string, the return value is already of the correct type, and you can access your custom variables and methods. If you call getComponent with a string, you'll get your script, but the compiler doesn't know what type it is, so you cannot access your custom variables. Oh, interesting. But not quite the answer. What? I don't care about gameObject.find. Answer the question! Oh, not really. If you're concerned about it, you can assign the resulting component to a variable so it can be directly addressed. Huh. That will save you about 3 flops. 3 flops, you say? Oh, every update. Yeah, I do a lot of stuff in update. Right, yeah. Because I like using memory. I just tend to use memory instead of processing power because, I don't know, I haven't hit the maximum amount yet. And it's not like my game has textures or anything. I mean, it probably will someday, like hypothetically. Probably not a great habit to be in, but like, memory, you guys, come on, memory. Anyways, alright, so, education. Yeah, no, I guess I don't. Well, that was interesting, but alright. Anyways, right, so, of course my first thought was to, like I'm using an array for the float values, and of course my first thought was instead to use an array for the components. Just get the components once and then use an array for them, but no. I think this is fine. If like a handful of floats break the bank, then I'll have to reevaluate. I'm hoping they don't. So how many things did I add here? I added cookie pulse time, I added cookie pulse time scale, and cookie min pulse time. Those are not real things yet. Let's make them real. So, yeah. Oh, I'll put it with the other cookie time. Cookie time. Cookie det timer. Float. Cookie pulse time equals new float max mobs float or public float cookie pulse you can go away. Cookie pulse time scale, I think is one around, equals, I think 0.8 was my initial guess. Public float cookie min pulse time, I think was my other one. And let's say 0.0 or 0. Yeah, I guess there'll be a slight still before the explosion. So don't bother pulsing more frequently than 0.2, maybe 0.3, like 0.4. I don't know. 0.4 is kind of a long time, but I kind of want it to be slightly dramatic. It'll be like blink, 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 blink. I guess. Something like that. And we can always change it. Cool. So, yeah. Right, so now when we spawn, oh yeah, we don't have a detonation time decided, do we? We have the det timer, but we have about float. No, not right. Float, public float. Did we put this one in already? I forget. This is the one that we said will decrease as the game goes on. Public float, cookie, det dir, or cookie det countdown dir. No. Yeah, just det dir. Detonation duration. Equals 10 seconds for starters, I guess. That'll have to decrease as the game goes on, because at the end, towards the end, like as the game progresses, it'll be so easy to clear all the explosive cookies within 10 seconds. So save that. Yeah. So now, okay, right. So now we know how long to set the timer. We know what to do with the timer, etc., etc. So when we make a cookie, here. So if the type equals 2, then cookie det timer mi equals what do we call it? Cookie det dir. And then so then cookie pulse time mi equals cookie det dir times cookie pulse times scale. So we'll set the timer to be equal to the duration. We'll set the next pulse time to be the duration times the time scale, the pulse time scale. And then now back when what are you displeased by? I must have screwed something up somewhere. What did I screw up? Usually that means I forgot to close a brace or something. Nope, I screwed up on my variables. Yep, I forgot a semicolon. Cool. Alright. So now I just need to do set of pulses and explosions. For now I can just say for now I'm just gonna say explode cookie. What do I usually do to tell a cookie to drop? I'm just gonna drop it for now. Just to make sure that it's working. And then I'm just gonna do weird things for fun. So yeah, just to see if my logic is sound. Explosion is going to be cookie. Wait, no, that's not mine. How do I just address cookies in general? Mob's cookie probably. Mob's cookie. Dot get component. How do I do this? Cookie. Oh wait, no. How do I do this? Because you didn't like it when I named my script cookie. Hold on. I know I'm doing this somewhere. I just forget where. Or no, I mean I remember where. I'm just not. It's not literally in front of my face right now. Yeah, here we go. Oh no, it does work like that. Oh, maybe that cookie's my cookie. Oh right, last time I kept forgetting to put the open and close parentheses at the end. But yeah. Right. So yeah, I probably would have forgotten again. Anyways, so yeah, so I'm just gonna instead of pulsing for now, so instead of exploding, they're just going to drop like they usually do, and instead of pulsing, they're just going to move upwards slightly. They're just gonna like tick slightly upwards. So yeah, it's gonna be weird, but whatever. Dot local position plus equals or vector 3 dot up times 0.2. So the cookies are just gonna like slowly start moving upwards, and then well, we'll see what happens. That's different. Oh, right. Because I'm not, yeah. I'm not discerning between, right. Alright, so, yeah. This is all gonna go in here, and this is going to go outside. Or inside, but inside here. So if alright. Oh wait, am I elsing that? No, I'm not. Okay. So that didn't change my logic. Yeah. Alright. Save that. Alright, yeah, so it was doing all this on regular cookies. And since regular cookies don't have their I don't know. Yeah, I wasn't initializing regular cookies because it's not gonna. Those values aren't really important for regular cookies. So, alright. So most things are normal. I should probably bring down the like cookie det time. Cookie det dir, bring it down to like 5 or so. So we might actually see it tick. And of course we're getting a statistically unusual lack of cookies. Are we? Yeah, right. We're just getting a statistically weird lack of cookies. Oh, look at it. It's ticking. Totally ticking. Tick, 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 tick. Boom. Boom. Oh, yeah. Tick, 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 tick. They just kind of collect above the dude's head, which is kind of fun in a way. So yeah, if this did you just collect them somehow? No, they're still up there. They're just following him around. Oh no, they do eventually fly to him, or maybe he just punched that one. Oh, are they just ticking upwards again for some reason? Oh, because I usually assume they dropped. Okay. So what is about the script? For some reason, the script isn't. The cookie translate script is not. Oh. Oh. Yeah, no, I think I just don't have perfectly sound logic. I think yeah. I don't know. I think the cookies actually were trying to approach the hero, but they were just ticking upwards still, maybe. So equals 0. Right. So how do I do this? So we want it to. I mean, I guess we don't super have to worry about this completely because cookies will explode. Yeah, cookies will explode. So just for temporary purposes, I'm just gonna say. This is -1. And then we're also going to check if cookie debt timer, or if cookie pulse time is greater than 0. Because 0 is not a valid pulse time. Actually, I guess we could keep this at 0. But then leave it at -1 for now. Alright, so, right, again, and not super important. Ultimately, but just to watch the simulation not be broken for a little while. Let's see how it does. We can turn up the spawn rate slightly. Actually, I mean, we can turn it up a lot if we want to. I'm just going to turn it up slightly. Alright, so they're ticking. Tick, 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 boom. Whoa. Whoa. Someone didn't like that. Stop. Abort simulation. Yeah, it's just kind of froze. I don't know why exactly. Oh, good. Stop the simulation. Good. Save. I always forget to save, and then when it crashes, etc., etc. Alright, oh yeah. Right. Oh yeah, now that the cookies are actually getting destroyed, I can't take for granted that they exist. So, wait. But why would, oh, because this isn't taking into account the fact that the hero can clear out the cookies before they explode. Well, I mean, it sort of is, but actually, it sort of is, based on the fact that it only happens if mob follows equals 2, and mob follows shouldn't equal 2 if the cookie. Whatever. I'm just gonna say, and mob's cookie I not equal null, I guess. Or actually, I could just put this to the whole block, I guess. Nah. I'll just put it here and see if we get any other problems. Alright, save that. This is why I test with weird stuff sometimes, with like half implemented logic. So right, let's pump up the spawn time, spawn speed. Tick 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 tick. Alright. Do that. Oh, what happened? Okay. So yeah. So yeah. So if I don't know exactly how that's happening, but I know it's really easy to check that it's not null before we try and take action against it. And we're only acting against that game object, so oh, actually, are we oh, are we not doing that? I thought we were going to set it so that, maybe I just forgot to do this. Yeah, in addition to dropping and removing it from parenting to the mob, I was also going to, maybe this is why we're seeing weird stuff. I was going to say, well, I mean, I guess actually we're buffered now, so I can just say equals null. Because the cookie doesn't disappear immediately, but it's no longer that mob's cookie. Because if the mob's really close to the edge, the mob might pick up another cookie. I guess that doesn't super matter. I don't think it would hurt anything to have it the other way. It's just a little bit false. Whatever. It wasn't hurting anything. Yeah, because if anything, we'd get more null exception references if we were manually setting those things to null instead of just like letting them peek around. Although maybe if we got those exceptions, it would be pertinent because it would represent a flaw in our logic elsewhere. Tick tick. Alright, so, I mean, yeah, we have been seeing some errors, and actually, yeah, let's flip the mobs again just to kind of ferret out any other errors we might be seeing. Let's spawn some allies for no particular reason. Oh, I guess with that many allies, you don't really miss many explosions. Alright, so faster detonation time, clearly. Oh, it's still at 10. Yeah, 5, maybe. It won't apply to these ones, but it'll apply to future ones. And yeah, just to really force it out, let's put the scale up to 5. Oh, no, that wouldn't do anything. That would just decrease the amount of pulses. So actually, let's put the pulse scale up to like 0.9. Yeah, look at those things. Tick. Alright, and I'm fairly certain we're missing a lot of these. I'm fairly certain we're not getting all of them. I'll put the det duration down to like 3. Or 2 even. Because like, your characters get really powerful later in the game, so... Actually, you know what I'll probably do later in the game to make it, to increase difficulty is to increase the detonation radius. So like put that to 9. And now now I don't want it to be bigger. Oh yeah, it can't be bigger than the screen. So like, oh, yeah. So I guess we probably don't ever want it like higher than like, yeah, actually, yeah, we probably never want it like higher than like 7, because otherwise it'll be happening off screen. Alright, some of the cool things I'm seeing is that when a mob leaves range, its bomb stops ticking. Although, maybe instead of not ticking, maybe it should continue to tick at like the same rate. Just so you know that it is an imminent threat. That won't work super well when the animation effect is, or when the tick effect is it moving upwards, because then it'll just like seem to disappear entirely. But I think possibly once we get actually, no, I guess it is technically okay to move the detonation radius off of the screen, because there's not really a situation where, well, no, that just seems sketchy to me. Yeah. All right. So. Is there anything else I need to get out of simulation at this point, or are we pretty much okay? Yeah, I definitely need to change the rate at which, like I can't just have like the explosive devices. I'll call them mines, probably. I can't have the mines spawning just completely randomly, because that could be like, that could lead for like some really boring parts and some virtually impossible parts. So I want to smooth that out a bit. But I think we could start setting up like, oh yeah, so we need oh right, so when we're dropping a cookie, well no, I guess we could still use drop. No, we'll need to, because we're going to set up another script for it. It'll be a similar script, but yeah, we'll have to, when knock gets, blah, blah, blah. So we have to set up pulse, we have to set up detonation, and then we have to differentiate when a mob gets knockback applied to it. For the case of the explosive cookie, it doesn't just drop, it actually, it needs the neutralization. So let's set up those. Basically, so I'll need like little shards to I'll need little shards to represent the neutralized cookie exploding, and I'll just need them to like kind of like burst for a second. For the explosion, I might not actually need a visual effect. I might just cause it to destroy a section of the game board, which will be fairly noticeable in and of itself. And also, at some point, I want to add in like a timer at the top of the screen, because, or not a timer, like actually, it'll either be here, it might be in the, in this little square in the bottom left corner. There'll be like, I don't know, like 9 dots, and each time you get hit by, each time an explosion goes off, you lose one of the dots. And then maybe the square changes to indicate that like losing dots is bad. Like maybe it starts out vibrant yellow, like the hero, and then slowly turns like less vibrant. And maybe the hero turns less vibrant too. I don't know. We'll find some way to convey that like you don't want this to be happening. Maybe I should limit myself to only talking about what the game means to me like once per day. But if anyone cares, the the narrative, in my mind at least. I mean, like I invite players to like attach to whatever narrative they see in the game, but the narrative for me is that the little green mobs are are birds who are suffering from a number of ails at this point. Like they're exposed to pollution. Apparently, their habitat is like littered with explosive devices, which are hard to distinguish from their food source. Um, so the little birds are flocking to you because you can free them from the pollution. That's the I mentioned earlier that the mobs are going to start out green but probably turn purple. That's you cleansing them. They're naturally purple. Green is the pollution. So because you can cleanse them, they flock to you and they offer you foodstuffs for your help, like in exchange for your help, and unwittingly, they occasionally offer you explosive devices instead. And so yeah, so like when you like when mobs go flying here, we can point the scene camera over here. When mobs go flying up into the air, they like escape out of the top of the screen, but like really all that happens is that they leave through the top of the screen and then they never come back down. When a bomb goes off, they're literally just gonna like disappear from the game field. Which I guess technically makes this a violent game. Violence is the lose condition though, so maybe I don't have to feel super bad about that. I didn't want to make a violent game, but I did want to make this game, which is why you're cleaning pollution instead of like attacking. I do use the word attack because I don't know. I think if without that little story I've just told, like the natural assumption is that like some degree of attack is taking place, and like that this is perhaps a battlefield. Like when I describe the game, I say it's basically like a single player MOBA in the style of Dynasty Warriors. So I don't know. And speaking of things I don't know, why am I still running the simulation? I'm pretty sure I have all the data that I need. Everything seems to be going swimmingly. So, all right. So let's let's set up the visual effect for neutralization of a for neutralization of a explosive cookie. I guess. Excuse me. The visual effect should probably just be like part of the cookie itself, and when set to trigger, what you usually see of the cookie will get disabled, and the visual effect will occur. Probably. And so then I only really need I can kind of like. I only really need like a prefab for not like a real prefab, but like I'll only need like 2 shard types, like one red shard and one white shard for the explosion effect, and then I can just send those flying in various directions. Or I can create multiples of them and send them flying in various directions. And then it'll all just naturally clean itself up. Not naturally, but I'll set it to clean up. So I'm gonna be super boring for just a split second. Super short span of time. Yeah. Alright, I'm done being boring. Super done. Wait, actually no, I lied. Just another quick moment. I'm looking at social media because I do that from time to time. Yeah. Wait, where was Yeah. Alright, sorry, I'm done. Done forever.